Hello everyone and welcome back for another tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how I do my purple gold wine coaster set. I do sell these sets on my website. This right here is crushed glass. I got this crushed glass from Amazon actually. I'll have to put the link below in the description box. So what I'm doing is I added a little of this crushed glass. I want to just have this kind of peek through. So I added a little bit of showstopper glitter to it just to give it a little bling behind the epoxy. So that's all I'm doing is I'm just putting this on the edges. You don't have to do this. This is just how I make this coaster set and I love the way it turned out. So I'm just doing this on just the edges of this section. And then I'm going to do it on all 4 sections. And also I'm going to do it on the top of the wine holder set itself. So I'm just pouring a little bit out of a bag. You could do this any way you want to, or again, you don't have to do this part. You can omit it all together. So be careful when you are working with crushed glass. Again, it is glass, so you don't want to too much use your fingers with this. That's why I'm just using a popsicle stick just to kind of move it closer together. But be very careful with this. You can prick yourself or cut yourself. It is crushed glass. Another place that I've noticed that have crushed glass for cheap is Michael's, but is kind of hit or miss when they have it. Okay, so you just have to check around and see what's the best price. But I will put the description in the link where I got this one from Amazon. And again, I'm putting this on the wine coaster set. I'm just putting it towards the center. I'm just kind of doing like a circle oval shape, nothing in particular, just kind of spreading it all around. Because what I'm going to do later is I'm going to come back with my my glitter and some mica and kind of fill in those areas. But one thing you do want to do, I know a lot of people ask me, well, what do you do to keep it in place? You'll see that I'm going to start adding some clear epoxy, just drizzling it over the glass. That's going to help keep it in place and still keep it clear to where you still have that see-through look. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up this is Royalty Has Arrived. This is another glitter from my collection. I do add this straight into my epoxy. Some people ask, can you just sprinkle it on there and then put epoxy over it? You can do that. I just find that it's very easy to just mix the glitter into my epoxy, stir it really good and use it that way. This is going to be some purple mica that I have. That's Purple Rain, also from my website. I'm mixing that into my epoxy too. I see it's just easier, you guys, if you just mix it directly into your epoxy and it changes the color of your epoxy. It's easier to work with that way instead of sprinkling it on there and it gets everywhere. Mica, you definitely want to mix mica with epoxy because you'll have a powdery mess floating everywhere. Okay, so the next color that I'm going to be using is Royal Gold. That's the Royal, again, from my website. So I'm just mixing that again into my epoxy. Always make sure you mix it really well. If not, you'll kind of see some of the powder still flying around. So that's why I'm kind of scraping the edges just to make sure I have it all mixed really good. So next, I'm just going to come in this cup is just going to be the clear epoxy, like I mentioned. And all I'm doing is just letting it drizzle all over the top of the crushed glass. Again, that's just going to give it that continued see-through look that I'm going for. And I'm just letting it drizzle. You can go ahead and pour it on straight from the cup if you want to, but I just kind of considered I wanted to just drizzle it on there. I didn't want to add too much and then have it all running everywhere because again, I'm going to come in with other colors. So again, I'm just drizzling, and sorry that I got my hand in the way. You probably can't see it too well. I do apologize for that. Next time I'll try to move the camera in a different position. But anyway, I'm just drizzling everywhere, and then I'll drizzle also on the wine set. That is what locks the holds the crushed glass from moving anywhere. And then after this section, I'm going to come in with my Purple Royalty Has Arrived. And again, you guys, this can be done with any colors in any way, shape, fashion that you decide to do it. This is just how I was going for. I was looking for a classy royal look, and I always know that purple and gold go great together. So that's what I was going for. So here we are with Royalty Has Arrived. That's the glitter that I'm using. And I'm just putting it right under the crushed glass. Okay, I'm kind of going for layer effect because again, I want to keep the crushed glass clear. So I just have the glitter area right underneath it. And I'm going to do this to every section. And also I could have gone in and just kind of use the cup to help me spread it around. I didn't want to do that because, again, I just wanted a little section of that glitter because I'm going to come back at the end with my heat gun, and of course it's going to help spread everything. So that's why I decided to just go with my popsicle stick, just to make sure I just have a little line of that that glitter section. And this mold, I don't know if I mentioned it, but this mold set is from my website. On the website, it's called the Wine Coaster Set Large. So when you're looking for it, you can also always go to the search option in my website, and it's going to say Wine Coaster Set. That'll be an easier way to find it if you're just looking for that. And it's going to be the wine coaster is just going to be the actual part that you put on the wine. I made a set out of this. When I sell it to my clients, I actually do the coasters separate from the wine set. It's totally up to you how you want to break it out. But when you're buying it on the website, these are actually separate. So you'll have to make them a set if you choose to. Okay. So now I am done with the glitter section. Now I'm going to move over to my purple mica. Actually, I think I'm going to use the gold goes next because I want to do an outline. Yeah, the outline of the gold. And this time I'm using the cup because I just want to do a nice little thin outline going all the way around the edges. So I'm doing that for the wine set, and then I'm coming back with my coasters. And I'm just doing it on the edges here. And someone asked me before, where did I find these little cups? You guys, I found these cups from Amazon, but I looked at the dollar store. The dollar store didn't. This is just a paper cup. The dollar store just had the styrofoam. So I'm pretty sure you could find them at your local Walmart. But I did find these on Amazon, and I think I got a pack of like 200 for maybe $6. Don't quote me. I'll try to find the link and add the link. But again, these can be found at any local store that's near you. I just think it's easier to have a paper cup when you're doing this opposed to a styrofoam cup, because of course the styrofoam is going to bust open. That's not what you want. Okay, so just doing the outline with this. And I'm just doing a thicker outline on the other section for next. Then I'm going to be coming in with the mica. The mica is the Purple Rain. And it's going to fill in the rest of the section in the middle. Again, I do apologize that my hand is in the way of you seeing it too good. Okay, so that wine section is, that's completed now. So then I'm going to move over and I'm going to start working on this actual coasters. And I want to say with the epoxy that I mixed up was actually, I want to say I did 9 ounces. 9 fluid ounces. Of course, that's going to be half and half. Always the ratio needs to be half and half. So whatever you use for A has to be the exact same for B. And being that it's wintertime also, I wanted to add that it is harder to, being that epoxy doesn't like the cold weather, I've been using my heater closer to my epoxy stirrer for me, and that seemed to work a lot easier, being that epoxy does not like the cold. And I know some of the ratios are kind of off, and it takes longer to stir when it's cold like that. So if you put your epoxy in front of a heater, and I have a little miniature heater that I bought from Amazon also, I think it was like $12. You probably could find that cheaper at Walmart or somewhere, just a mini heater, and I put it actually in front of my epoxy stirrer. And that helps tremendously, and it also helps to get the bubbles out. Okay, so that's just a little tip right there when you're trying to stir and the weather's getting colder. Okay, so here I'm going in with the mica, and I'm just closing in the little area. And actually, you guys, started running out of epoxy, so I then needed to stir up another batch, but I didn't need to stir up too much. But again, if you go ahead and use, when you're mixing up another batch, have a little heater in front of it. Within no time, you're off and running. So this is where I kind of ran out, but I hurry up and mixed up another batch. Okay, there we go. So we're ready for the last one. And this one turned out a little bit darker, but once it all cured, it all looked the same color. So on camera, it does look a little darker, but once I finished the product, it was all about the same. So that's what happens when you have to mix up another batch sometimes. So sometimes you have to make sure everything is the same and you mix up enough. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I just still had some more product left over. So what I'm doing is just kind of going back and filling in spots so that way I can kind of thicken things up and just kind of use the rest of the product that I do have. I always try to keep a little bit of extra product on hand because once you finish with everything, you never know where you might want to add something else. So if you kind of leave some of your product on hand, before you're finished, then you could always go back and use the rest of it up. So like here, I had little areas where I wanted to add some more clear to the crushed glass. So I was able to go back and just kind of fill in some more areas and make sure that everything spread back out a little bit. Because sometimes your mica will run into some of the other colors. So the only thing you do is you get some clear and just put back into where you need it. So that way it'll push everything back. Because everything starts trying to combine together. So with that clear, I was able to push my glitter, the purple glitter back and some of the micas back in place. So that's another tip. There you go. You got 2 tips off of this, you guys. And see, I had some more glitter, so I kind of went ahead and used the rest of my glitter. Okay, so the final step that I'm going to be doing on this pretty much is I'm just going to hit this with a little bit of heat. Okay, I'm just hitting it with a little bit of heat. Again, you always want to use a little bit of heat in order to either move some of your epoxy around, but here I'm using it mostly to bust all the air bubbles. And another thing that I like to do to get rid of the bubbles is I like to mist all my products with a little bit of alcohol. And I have just a little spray bottle and I just kind of go over and mist everything. But here I'm just kind of filling everything in and getting rid of all the bumps. That's why I'm trying not to use too much heat in those areas because I don't want it to expand too much. I just want to get rid of the bubbles. And see there, I'm misting it with just a little bit of alcohol. So that's what you're seeing right there. It's just a little bit of mist and immediately the bubbles will just pop. And then there you go. That's it dried. So the only thing I did is the very next day I came in and I like to do an extra clear coat. So I don't go all the way up to the top. So what I wanted to do is come back with the clear coat over top. So here I am. I just mixed up another batch, 9 ounces, and I'm just going over top and just filling it. So that way I give it a clear coat. Sometimes when you go all the way to the top, you'll start filling some of the glitter and some of the glass. I didn't want that. Again, I don't want anybody that buys this product from me. I don't want them to cut themselves and then that'll be a liability. No. So what I did is I didn't go all the way to the top with the full design, and I'm just coming in with clear epoxy that's going to cover in all the lumps from the glitter and the crushed glass. So that's a good thing that you guys should keep in mind. Don't go all the way up to the top. Just put a little clear on top of it, and it's going to give it a little more of a dimension also. Okay, so that's what I'm doing here. And the next day I came in another 24 hours later and we're done. This is the finished product. And some people ask me, well, which side do I use that's facing up or what side's facing down? I went ahead and had this side will be facing up, or depending on the customers, they might want the other side to be facing up. So it's totally up to them, but you totally decide, up to you or your client. Okay, so that would be the bottom for me. That would be the bottom facing down when you put it on top of your wine, and that would be the top. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and here are a few extra pictures that I took of the finished set. Again, thank you so much, and I hope you liked this video. Stick around for more. Thanks.